Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Maverick, where today we're going to be watching Fairy Gone Episode 10. So, last time we were left off, Mariya and company and her friends at Dortia, they got into a kind of a pickle, right? They got ambushed by a mercenary group led by Bivi, who apparently is one of the 7 knights, a fairy soldier, so one of the top fairy soldiers, actually. And this whole thing is supposedly set up by Duke Diaz. Probably for the purposes of both seizing the weapon for his own personal use, as well as causing some political turmoil, right? Because through this entire scuffle, Dortia and the other guys were overwhelmed, and now apparently they've also lost one of their members as well, Oz, who died protecting Mariya. So, not only is that a huge blow to them, but as I said, from a macro scale, there's bound to be some political repercussions, right? So, probably Director Neon would be blamed for losing this weapon, potentially replaced, or at least they would have, their political influence would be lowered, right? And I do believe that is probably part of the reason why Duke Diaz wants to stage this kind of hijacking or this kind of robbery. So there's this entire conspiracy going on over here. However, from the title of this episode, it seems that we're going to be diving more into Mariya's past, where she apparently is going to blame everything on herself and the bad luck she brings. Now, I made a wrong statement last episode where Mariya, we saw some flashbacks of Mariya being taken in by an old man who was a hunter. So that is actually not the same old man that we saw previously a few episodes ago. The one that we saw within her village, the same village that both her and Veronica stayed in, that dude was Raydon's brother. Yaguru, I kind of forgot his name. Jurgen, Jurgen Dawn. So he was the one who took Mariya in after she lost her parents, and then afterwards when Mariya and Veronica, there's a whole burning down of the village, right? And when they escaped, the other dude, the other old man that we saw last episode, was the one that took Mariya in. So they're actually not the same guy. And I'm sorry, but I can't remember faces all that well. But anyways, so I'm guessing that something is probably going to happen to that old man as well, and so there's bound to be something that contributes to Mariya self-loathing, right? As to, saying that misfortune goes around with her wherever she goes. So that is probably going to be the focus of this episode. In other news, if you guys recall, well, not if you guys recall, but anyways, the music group that does all the music for this anime, the opening, the ending, all the insert songs and whatnot, is called No Name, right? No spelled K-N-O-W. And they actually held a mini live on Nico Nico a week ago. So they live streamed the live, and well, they also put it up on YouTube. So I will link that down in the description below for you guys to listen to. They do play the opening, Knockin' on the Core, and the ending, Ash Like Snow. And now the ending, I've said numerous times before, is probably one of my favorite endings of this season. So do check that out. They also play a few of the other insert songs, background tracks. So check that out. It's pretty cool. And they are a talented bunch. Alrighty, so that's enough of an introduction and recap. Let's just get into the episode right now. And let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. That was actually quite a long intro. But this is a series that requires a lot of rewatching and thinking, actually. Nope. The morgue. Yeah, Oz is dead. Do they have any specific ritual? guess, like... Okay, we'll probably have to get it back. Cursed child. Oh, now opening this episode. Because he's a fairy soldier. It needs to be reclaimed. Alright, salute. Oz was a good guy. I love the music. Sorry I'm not saying too much, but it is a sad situation. Flashback? No, not yet. Probably she needs to. Oh. No, I'm sure they can. Okay. back to the Dukes. See? Now he has that in his personal possession. Oh, she's still here? I would have thought that she would try to leave or something. Yeah, like I said, because people keep dying around her. So she actually got safely to civilization. And then ran away again. Now this guy is Victor the Hunter, not the same guy as Radon's brother. That would be Veronica. Oh, this background music is so great. Yeah, she has personal reason to hate him as well. He did burn down her town. I mean, probably just from that he knows she's originally from here. But not maybe necessarily which town she comes from. Okay. This is going much different than what I expected. I thought she was gonna have like a breakdown and then run away or whatever. Oh, was he having similar thoughts as well? Okay, that's interesting. Don Jingle? Who? A new guy again? Oh. Oh. Uh, it's the third and remaining mafia group. Grandpa. Oh, she's not like come home, she's actually from the government now. Yep, the last remaining mafia group. Really? Huh, we don't break the law, mafia? Alright. Well, if they don't break the law, then I guess it doesn't really matter to them. Really? That's interesting. So, do you have a fairy inside you as well? Probably. Okay, this is going back to the original assassination plot. I guess they didn't really get any repercussions. I would have thought there would be some political downfall from that. And this girl is madly in love with Bibi. He's just gonna walk in. And yet they don't even have a perimeter guard? Like, these are big shots, and I just think security is rather lax, considering one of the heads of a mafia group is in there. Family. why does this feel like meeting the parents? Yeah, like I said, it's like meeting the parents. Like I said. Why? Why is this? I'm sorry. I just feel like this is so fun. Hmm. But not three. Why did you have to get down on your knees? Oh my god. I know this is supposed to be like very heartwarming and whatnot, but I just feel like it's super funny. It's like uh, hmm. One last goodbye. This is a nice use of the intro of the ending song. This song, man. This song. Alrighty, I'll see you guys after the ending. And of course, there's a little bit left after the ending. So let's start in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh? Hmm. Right. And you're entrusting this to Dorothea? They're not going to get sniped again, are they? Okay. Alrighty, so this episode went a lot differently than what I expected, and I gotta say it might be for the better, right? So, judging from the title of the episode, and as well as last episode's preview and what we've known about Mariya's character so far, I would have thought that she would get into a nervous breakdown, maybe run away or whatnot, and then eventually have to be convinced to come back, right? Throw a tantrum or something, if you could call it that. But, thankfully that didn't happen, because that would have been actually a little bit annoying, and something that I didn't really want to see. Instead, although we are, as expected, do learn a little bit more about Mariya's backstory, right? And why she considers herself a cursed child. But she didn't actually go overboard with the weeping and the dramatics, right? She was fairly controlled throughout. And again, we can kind of see like why she exactly thinks herself as a cursed child. So her parents died shortly after she was born, and then a village took her in, but then the village was burned down by Radon, and then she was homeless again. She got to a town, and then she ran away. She was picked up by Victor the Hunter. He died a few years later, and then she, eventually she grew up, joined the Mafia apparently, and then joined Dorothea, and now one of her comrades died. So I guess you can kind of see where she's getting at, but at the same time, it probably isn't something that's necessary for her to go into a complete, breakdown and hate the world or something, right? So I'm glad that they didn't go that route. Although in the end, she did need some convincing, which in this episode came by the hand of 3. Now, personally, I feel like I think it would have been better, again, if we had a little bit more time to cook the relationships between Mariya and the other members of Dorothea, and with 3 as well. But it is what it is, I guess. We can just assume that, they had a great time with each other and they grew close to each other. I think that's all we can do right now. If this... Again, it's kind of funny because this feels like the pacing of a light novel adaptation, but it's actually not. So, like I said, we can only infer from the context that we've seen that they grew close. Now, there were some hints on both the official website and as well through Twitter as well, like how Mariya, after she joined Dorothea, kind of changed the dynamic of the group. Everybody grew a lot more happy and cheerful and whatnot, and so they all had a great time with each other, right? But we never really saw that much on screen, so we can only assume that's what happens, and the camaraderie that she built with the others, because it only... the entire speech at the end only really makes sense if we get a feeling of the camaraderie between them. And so since we weren't really shown that, it's kind of hard for us to feel for them. But I guess we just accept it as it is and move on, right? So, like I said, for me, it's really hard for me to sympathize with these characters when we don't exactly know the extent of the relation. So, actually, to be honest, during that scene, the entire time I was thinking about how hilarious it is that it seems like, it's a classic situation of meeting the parents, right? Meeting parents, saying that saying that he will take care of Mariya, please entrust her to him, and then even getting down on his knees, like in the proposal way. Like, that had to be a deliberate decision on the animator's part. That had to be deliberate, because that was way too funny. But anyways, all jokes aside, I'm glad that we got that out of the way, right? So now Mariya is determined and focused and, accepts her role as a member of Dorothea, right? And the comrades around her. So, yay, we got that out of the way. Now, some other stuff that I didn't really expect was that, there wasn't really any repercussions against Dorothea for this. I thought undoubtedly there would be some downfall to it, but I guess not, and instead they're just continuing and carrying out their jobs as usual. We are introduced also to the third mafia group, the third and final mafia group, although why they're called a mafia group I don't exactly understand. Their motto is that they don't break the law. Going to the website and getting some more information about this mafia group, it appears that they really don't like to break the law. They're basically a business group, if you will. They just do business. They run businesses. And they apparently hate the other two mafia gangs as well. So I'm not really sure why they are a mafia group. Besides the obvious reference to building a family that does not have blood relations, right? A godfather situation. So I guess maybe not really sure how big of a role they will play, but like I said, they are one of the three bigs, so undoubtedly there's going to be something for them as well. And as for the rest, Duke Diaz, we already know he plotted to get the ferry weapon, so no surprises there. So the final foreshadowing, right, with all those armored cars carrying the artificial ferries, and rushing to some place. Now, I'm not really... Originally, I was thinking that maybe Duke Diaz was trying to organize a rebellion against the current emperor or against Raydon or something. Just do some kind of armed uprising. But I'm actually also kind of thinking maybe this is actually a situation where the neighboring countries are going to war against Zesia. So Zesia itself is an empire, right? It's comprised of lots of different nations, but the thing is, they are actually only on, if you consider the whole entire world, the entire landmass of the Faragon world, the entire empire of Zesia and all the nations that comprise it only occupy the east of the entire land. So the entire land is divided into the east, the middle part, and the west part, and presumably there are empires or countries or whatnot in the mid and west parts as well. So I'm actually thinking maybe this is a situation where one of the neighboring countries, on the same level of Zesia, is going to try to invade and start a war. And this would make sense because, it was mentioned here by Director Nian that BV only gets excited when war is about to break out, right? Now, war, rebellion, is it the same thing, or is it some kind of outside influence? Not really sure here, but I guess we'll know more in the next upcoming episode, right? So is it actually a case of an internal civil war, or is it something much bigger and grander? So I think that about covers it for my review of this episode. And oh yeah, fine. One final thought: the music for this episode was fantastic. I mean, No Name have been doing a great job so far, except for some parts in regards to the battle music. But that isn't really their fault. I feel like it's more the pacing of the battle's fault, because the music has always been of top-notch quality. And actually, I just checked their Twitter, and you can find two of the insert songs released on YouTube now. One is called Dandelion, and the other one is called Snowball, or whatever it is. Blowball, sorry. Blowball. So one is called Dandelion, and one is called Blowball. So I'll put both of those down in the description below, alongside their Nico Nico Live that they hosted a week ago, so that you guys can go check their music out independently of the anime. And also, one final thing to say. Again, this is hot right off from their Twitter. Apparently, Faragon are doing a collaboration with Attack on Titan. Yes, that big franchise. Not really sure what exactly the specifics are. It's not due until August, but apparently it's going to be a collaboration work where it's going to be a manga serialization. Now, there's already a cover or a visual illustration in regards to this collaboration that's been put out by the author already. So, well, I guess I'll link that tweet down below as well. Man, they really are going all out in promoting Faragon, aren't they? Again, I've been saying this ever since the very first episode. I actually do want this franchise to be a little bit bigger and more popular. I really do feel like the depth of the story is... There is depth there. It's just not being portrayed very well. But I do like the world that it's built. I do like the characters that they're trying to build. I do like the story and the narrative that they're trying to do. It's just still lacking in terms of its anime adaptation. I mean, it's not even an adaptation. It's, I don't know, I've talked about this so many times, but it is progressing more and more on the upwards level. So at least it's got that going for them. And hopefully with 2 or 3 episodes left until the second core, the story can continue to pick up and be greater and more, just better in every aspect, right? So anyways, that's been my review of Fairy Gone. I will see you again next time, next week. So until then, bye-bye.